Have you ever had the feeling that a moment was happening for the second time? Not something similar, not something that merely reminded you of the past, but this exact moment. The same room, the same conversation, the same arrangement of light and sound. For a few strange seconds, everything feels eerily familiar, as though you've already lived it, as though reality itself is repeating. And yet, you know it isn't. You know you've never been here before. You've never had this conversation. You've never experienced this exact sequence of events. So why does your brain insist otherwise? Why can something completely new feel impossibly familiar? This phenomenon has fascinated philosophers, psychologists, and neuroscientists for more than a century. It's called déjà vu, French for already seen. But that simple translation hides a much deeper mystery. Because déjà vu is not really about seeing. It's about certainty. The unsettling certainty that you somehow know a moment that should be impossible to know. And understanding why that happens may reveal something extraordinary about how your mind constructs reality itself.
Most of us think we experience reality directly. We open our eyes, we look around, and the world simply appears. Obvious, immediate, effortless. But modern neuroscience paints a very different picture. Your brain is not a passive observer. It's an active interpreter, a prediction machine, a pattern detector, a reality builder. Every second, billions of neurons work together to transform raw sensory information into the experience you call the present moment. And most of the time, this process is so seamless that we never notice it. We only see the finished product, never the machinery behind it. But occasionally, the machinery becomes visible. And déjà vu may be one of those moments.
To understand why, we first need to understand something about memory. Imagine you're walking through a crowded train station. Across the platform, you notice a face. Instantly, it feels familiar. A second later, the details arrive. You remember who the person is, where you met them, maybe even a conversation you had years ago. Psychologists believe this involves two separate systems: familiarity and recollection. Familiarity is the feeling that you've encountered something before. Recollection is the retrieval of the actual memory behind that feeling. Normally, they work together. But what if they briefly fall out of sync? What if familiarity arrives without recollection? What if your brain generates the feeling of knowing without providing a reason? That possibility lies at the heart of one of the most influential explanations for déjà vu. Imagine receiving a message from a number you don't recognize. You feel certain you've seen it before, yet no memory comes to mind. The certainty remains, but the explanation is missing. That's similar to what may happen during déjà vu. The feeling arrives first. The evidence never arrives at all. Your brain confidently declares, "I know this." But when you ask why, it has no answer. A memory-like feeling without a memory. Recognition without recognition of the source. A conclusion without evidence. But that raises an even bigger question. If there is no memory, where does the feeling come from? The answer may lie in something your brain does constantly Without your awareness, it searches for patterns. Not just objects, not just faces, patterns, relationships, structures, hidden similarities. Researchers discovered something fascinating. People could experience feelings remarkably similar to déjà vu while looking at places they had never seen before. At first, that sounds impossible, until you understand what the brain was actually recognizing. Imagine two rooms, different furniture, different colors, different objects, different buildings entirely. Yet both rooms share the same underlying layout, the same spatial arrangement, the same hidden structure. Consciously, they appear completely different. But beneath awareness, the brain detects the similarity. And suddenly, a signal emerges. I've experienced this before. Not because you've seen this exact place, but because you've encountered something built on the same pattern. The conscious mind receives the feeling, but not the explanation. And in the absence of an explanation, mystery rushes in to fill the gap.
But perhaps the strangest part of déjà vu isn't familiarity. It's prediction. Many people describe the sensation that they know what happens next, as though they're watching a replay, as though the future has already unfolded. Scientists tested this. People experiencing déjà vu felt more confident about predicting what would happen next, yet they weren't any more accurate. The sensation of foresight was real. The foresight itself was not. And that finding points toward a profound truth. Certainty and truth are not the same thing. Your brain can generate one without the other. Think about how remarkable that is. Every decision you make depends on feelings of certainty. Every belief, every judgment, every conclusion. Yet déjà vu reveals that certainty itself can be manufactured. The experience feels real because the feeling is real. The interpretation is where we often go wrong.
Most of the time, reality feels complete, stable, finished. Yet neuroscience suggests something very different. What we experience as reality is the result of countless invisible processes operating behind the scenes. Memories being checked, predictions being generated, patterns being compared, signals being classified, all before awareness ever arrives. And most of the time, those systems agree. The present feels present. The familiar feels familiar. The new feels new. Everything lines up. Until suddenly, it doesn't. For a few brief seconds during déjà vu, the labels become confused. One system says, "This is familiar." Another says, "This is new." And your conscious experience becomes the collision between those two signals. Not a broken universe, not a glimpse into another timeline, but a conflict inside the machinery of recognition itself. The next time déjà vu happens, pay attention to the contradiction, the strange overlap between certainty and doubt, between familiarity and novelty. Because that contradiction may be the entire point. Déjà vu is not evidence that you've lived this moment before. It is evidence that your brain is constantly trying to decide whether you have. And most of the time, it succeeds so perfectly that you never notice the decision being made. Until one day, for a few brief seconds, the system hesitates. The labels stop lining up. The present feels remembered. The unfamiliar feels known. And you catch a glimpse of something that normally remains hidden. Not a crack in reality, a crack in the illusion that reality arrives fully formed. Because perhaps the most astonishing thing about déjà vu is not that it makes a new moment feel old. It's that it reminds us every experience is being constructed by a mind working quietly behind the scenes, moment by moment, pattern by pattern, prediction by prediction. And every now and then, you can feel the construction happening. That feeling is déjà vu.